Friends, the market is absolutely on fire right now. Bitcoin has just hit a new all-time high and a full-on meme season has started on BNB. But if you've just entered crypto, where should you even look? How do you start without drowning in all this chaos? Today, I've put together a portfolio I would personally build if I were entering crypto from scratch right now. Every coin here is the result of dozens of hours of research, experience, and cold analysis. No hype, no randomness, only what truly makes sense. So sit back, hit subscribe, and I'll show you which coins I'd keep on my radar if I were starting now.
3, 2, 1, fire!
Friends, before we move on to the market overview and the most promising coins, please note, this video is not financial advice. It only reflects my own impressions and market analysis. Always do your own research and invest wisely. Right now, there are dozens of different sectors in the market. Layer 1 blockchains, AI projects, RWA, real-world assets, decentralized exchanges, centralized exchanges, staking, restaking, liquidity, and infrastructure tokens. And figuring out which coins can actually bring profit is not an easy task, especially when there's an ocean of small-cap coins that promise 100 times but more often just disappear. That's why in this list, there are no microcaps or questionable projects. Here, I've gathered medium and large-cap coins, those with fundamentals, liquidity, and real potential for growth without excessive risk. This is the kind of portfolio I would build as a starting point: balanced, realistic, and designed for potential mid-term growth, without emotional roller coasters or all-in bets. So, let's not waste time. Let's move on to the most interesting part. We'll start with Layer 1 blockchains because they are the foundation of the entire crypto market. This is the base where ecosystems are being built, new projects are born, partnerships are formed, and those same stories emerge that later bring tens of X's. Layer 1 is the heart of innovation. Every new trend, whether it's DeFi, NFTs, or AI, begins here. But it's important to understand, the giants have already achieved their peak. Ethereum, Solana, BNB, these are powerful, stable networks that define the rules of the game, but their explosive growth phase is already behind them. They remain the foundation, but not the place where the next big breakthrough will happen. That's why today we're looking in a different direction, at younger blockchains that are just forming their ecosystems but are already showing strength in technology, speed, scalability, and partnerships. Among them might be the next Solana, or something even bigger. And now we'll take a look at which Layer 1s deserve a place in a 2025 portfolio. Let's start with the first one, Sui. This is one of the youngest and most promising Layer 1 blockchains that is actively building its own ecosystem. The project was created with the ambition to make an ultra-fast, scalable network for real products, from DeFi to gaming, and now we can see these plans becoming reality. In recent weeks, Sui updated to a new version, activating Mysticeti v2, which speeds up transaction finalization and makes the network even more efficient. In addition, the team is actively negotiating with major gaming studios that plan to launch tokens on Sui. This could become a huge catalyst for attracting new users and developers. I'd like to remind you that before this, Sui even created its own gaming console tied to the blockchain. An important note, on October 1st, 44 million SUI tokens, approximately $143 million, were unlocked, which created short-term pressure on the price. But despite that, Sui continues to grow in activity, and even the technical picture looks positive. The breakout of a falling wedge indicates potential growth first to $4.60, and in a more optimistic scenario, to $6.34. The well-known crypto analyst Ali even sees the possibility of a move towards $7, considering accumulation and growing network activity. On Twitter, the project's team announced that the Phantom Wallet is officially integrating into the Sui ecosystem, a serious step toward attracting mainstream users. Additionally, a report from Electric Capital shows that the number of developers in Sui continues to grow while most other blockchains are losing them. And that's probably the best signal. When more developers join, it means the ecosystem is really evolving, not just surviving on hype. Friends, let's move on. But before that, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I constantly create new selections for different narratives and budgets. And speaking of SUI, I first talked about it almost a year and a half ago. So support me, it motivates me to keep showing you strong assets. The next coin on our list is SEI. This is another next-generation Layer 1 blockchain, created specifically for fast trading and DeFi applications. Its main goal is to make transactions as lightning-fast as on centralized exchanges, but with all the benefits of decentralization, and it seems SEI is gradually getting closer to that goal. At the time of recording, the coin is holding strong support around 28 to 30 cents. And after several weeks of sideways movement, analysts at Brave New Coin note that a breakout above 30 cents could open the path toward 35 cents and higher. But the main thing is not just the price. SEI is now actively expanding its direction toward real-world asset tokenization. Not long ago, the project confirmed partnerships with Ondo Finance and Securitize to tokenize U.S. Treasuries. And these aren't just big names. Such collaborations could make SEI a part of the future financial infrastructure. Together, they already control more than 50% of the tokenized U.S. Treasuries market. Another important point, SEI has completed compliance stages with Japanese regulations, opening the door for legal expansion in Asia, one of the most promising regions for DeFi growth. According to DeFi Llama, trading volumes on DEXs built on SEI have already exceeded $10 billion, which is a serious indicator of network activity and shows that the ecosystem is not standing still. Meanwhile, CoinCodex predicts a short-term correction to around 22 cents, but the long-term outlook remains positive. Analysts at Cryptopolitan suggest a possible target around 38 cents by end 2025, though forecasts can change quickly. And what do you think about these coins? My regular viewers are definitely holding at least one of them. These projects may appeal to both new and experienced crypto enthusiasts because this is the choice of an ecosystem that's actively growing, creating space for new products and amazing projects. So, while you're writing in the comments, let's move on. By the way, I'll show you exactly how I allocated $1,000 across all these coins at the end of this video. The next sector drawing a lot of attention in the market is RWA, or real-world assets. In short, it's when real assets, stocks, bonds, real estate, even government treasuries, are brought onto the blockchain in the form of tokens. The idea is simple. What used to work slowly and require dozens of intermediaries is now becoming fast, transparent, and available 24/7. This isn't just a trend, it's a revolution at the intersection of DeFi and traditional finance. That's why giants like BlackRock, Citi, JP Morgan, and MasterCard are actively testing solutions in this space. Many believe that blockchain could play a major role in the future of money, and those who build the bridge between the old and new systems first will gain a massive advantage. And that's where Ondo Finance comes in, one of the strongest players in the tokenization of real assets. The project has already made a name for itself through a series of strategic moves. First, Ondo has multiple partnerships with major players in the traditional financial market. For example, Ondo is working with MasterCard to integrate real assets into blockchain via the multi-token network. This essentially brings banking infrastructure into DeFi and builds a bridge for institutional adoption. Second, their acquisition of Oasis Pro gave Ondo a full set of US licenses, broker-dealer, trading system, and registrar, making it a fully regulated platform for tokenized securities. And third, their joint transaction with JP Morgan, Chainlink, and Connexys, where they executed the first DVP delivery versus payment operation using the OUSG token. This is a real working example of how blockchain is connecting with traditional banking networks. Previously, such operations were only possible through clearinghouses. Now institutions, banks, funds, can interact directly with tokenized assets while maintaining compliance and security. It's also worth noting that Ondo Chain is being developed as a Layer 1 with a strong compliance focus. And among its custodial partners are Komainu and Copper, which provide institutional-grade asset custody. Their products, OUSG and USDY, which tokenize U.S. Treasury bonds, are already live and trade 24/7. This isn't theory, it's a real functioning case with yield and liquidity. Ondo Finance is becoming the infrastructural foundation of the new financial market, connecting crypto and traditional money. And it looks like this direction holds enormous potential for the future. The next direction that's rapidly gaining momentum is AI in blockchain. While everyone's talking about ChatGPT, Midjourney, or Claude, the crypto world is quietly building its own AI infrastructure layer. Decentralized computing, data hubs, GPU networks, and model marketplaces. And right here, a project has emerged that already stands out even among giants: Ether. If you're looking for a real-world application of blockchain in AI and gaming, this project is exactly about that. Ether is a decentralized GPU network. Thousands of graphics cards around the world are connected into one global cloud infrastructure, providing computing power for AI models, metaverses, and games. Right now, there are over 435,000 containers and more than 90,000 nodes constantly verifying and monitoring the system's performance. This isn't just theory. In the first half of the year, the platform generated over $150 million in revenue and nearly 1 billion compute hours. Now, about the latest updates. Ether launched the ATH Vault in collaboration with EigenLayer, allowing stakers to receive liquid tokens and participate in DeFi without giving up their base position. Other financial tools have also appeared: a credit card from Credible, lending via Folks Finance, and new liquidity mechanisms through VATH. It's starting to look like a complete economy built around GPU infrastructure. The gaming side is also booming. Integration with Metagravity enables scaling 3D worlds for millions of players. Respeecher is already using Ether for real-time voice synthesis, and studios are launching AI-driven campaigns to attract users at minimal cost. At the same time, there's a $100 million grant fund, and even universities like Arizona State are joining the network to conduct research and launch AI projects. Another interesting feature, Ether Edge. It's a small Snapdragon-powered device that lets anyone at home become a computing provider and earn ATH. There are already tens of thousands of these devices in the network. Why is this important? Ether makes GPU power accessible, scalable, and affordable. This means AI startups, gaming studios, and even traditional companies can now use resources that were previously available only to major corporations. But the most exciting part is still ahead. By the end of this year, Ether is preparing a major network upgrade. Not just cosmetic changes, but a leap to a whole new level. First, the mainnet is transitioning to a more advanced architecture, enabling millions of concurrent GPU requests with minimal latency. Second, a new resource allocation algorithm will automatically balance workloads between nodes and containers, making the entire network faster and more efficient. And finally, governance. For the first time, ATH token holders will gain voting power in the DAO, deciding key ecosystem parameters. This move elevates Ether to the level of a truly decentralized infrastructure project. Overall, Ether looks highly promising and has every chance to shine in this market cycle. Well, friends, let's talk about decentralized exchanges, a sector that's becoming increasingly important in today's market. While most traders used to operate only through centralized platforms, more and more capital is now flowing into DeFi. The reason is simple: control, transparency, and the rapid pace of innovation. After the events of the past few years, investors trust centralized structures less and less. Users want to control their own funds instead of relying on exchanges. That's why decentralized futures platforms, perp DEX, have become one of the hottest segments in crypto. And when it comes to the leaders of this space, Hyperliquid currently holds the #1 spot. It's a complete derivatives trading infrastructure built on its own blockchain, HyperEVM, which delivers speed and efficiency comparable to centralized exchanges. Thanks to its unique architecture, the network processes over 200,000 transactions per second. with block finalization time at just 0.2 seconds, one of the fastest rates in all of DeFi. While other platforms are only trying to match that performance, Hyperliquid already dominates the perpetuals market, controlling around 60% of the total open interest and nearly 80% of the entire perpdex sector. To understand the scale, total trading volume on the platform has already exceeded $1 trillion and TVL has reached $6.1 billion, the highest among decentralized exchanges of this type. In recent months, we've seen an astonishing influx of institutional investment. Lion Group Holding created a $600 million crypto treasury, making HYPE its core asset. Sonnet Biotherapeutics, a NASDAQ-listed company, partnered with Rorschach to launch Hyperliquid Strategies Inc., which now holds over 12.6 million HYPE and $305 million in cash for further accumulation. And Inovia, a biotech firm, allocated $50 million to purchase more than 1 million HYPE tokens. These are no longer just crypto enthusiasts. These are public companies that see Hyperliquid as the foundation for the next generation of financial infrastructure. And most importantly, they're not buying for speculation. They're building long-term positions. On top of strong financial metrics, the Hyperliquid team continues to enhance tokenomics. Half of all platform fees are used for HYPE buybacks, creating consistent price support and a deflationary effect. Now, as promised, let's go over how I'd allocate $1,000 across these coins. Option 1. With buybacks. Active strategy. This plan assumes setting aside part of your capital for dips. I'd enter the market with $700 now, keeping $300 in reserve to buy more during 15 to 20% corrections. Allocation for the initial $700. Hyperliquid, $200. Ether and Ondo Finance, $150 each. Sui and Sei, $100 each. If the market corrects, I'd add to the assets that drop the most. For example, Ether or Sui, lowering my average entry. This is a classic averaging down strategy to avoid chasing tops. Option 2. DCA, dollar cost averaging. If you don't want to guess the right entry points and prefer reducing risk, DCA works best. Split $1,000 into 5 equal parts of $200 and invest weekly over the next month. Each week, buy one coin or add to those that look weak after corrections. Suggested distribution, $200 for each coin. This strategy brings peace of mind. You don't worry about buying at the peak because you'll always have another entry lower. And that's all for today. Remember, this is just my personal take on the market, not financial advice. Always do your own research before investing. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow for more coin breakdowns. See you in the next one.